Day YouTube, Mazda3s here. Just wanted to do a quick 2-year review on my Mazda 3 and how I'm still liking this car, you know, what I think about it after driving her for 2 years, and, you know, overall, I'm very happy with this car. I was a little worried coming from a WRX to this car that I was going to get bored of it pretty fast, but honestly, I'm still far from bored of this car. I still love this car, and even if, let's say this car was paid off and I could afford something different, I don't think I would get anything right now. I'm pretty happy with this. It's just a great daily driver. I mean, I'd want to get a project car, a fun summer car, but this car keeps me entertained well enough. And I think a big part of that is that I keep installing mods too, so it's like every few months I have not a new car necessarily, but kind of. So, oh yeah, by the way, newest mod, intake. So wait until I goose it here, you'll hear it, probably. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know how well that's gonna come through on the shitty mic on that camera, but definitely sounds very different, which, by the way, I will be doing a review on the intake. It is a K&N short ram intake with a heat shield, and of course the truck's gonna go that way on that on-ramp, so I'm gonna just go nice and slow so I can make some distance between me and him, and then fucking, oh god damn it, he's fucked. Well, not having fun on that on-ramp. God damn it, son. Oh well, fuck it. Unless I hold up traffic, I'm not gonna be able to hit it on this on-ramp very well. Yep, and that guy just turned too, which fucked me. You fuck on me, oh you bitch. I was gonna flip them off and that didn't, and that was the whole weird fist waving thing. Oh, that intake sounds so good. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I'll do a video before and after, inside, outside, all that shit. I'll play around with some different mic setups. Actually, let me roll the window down real quick. Now you're gonna hear it a lot more. Oh yeah. Or you might have just heard more wind. I don't know. Regardless, like I said, this car keeps me very entertained. Mods helped a lot with that because I was starting to get kind of bored with her. And so honestly, the handling mods probably helped. I say mods, it's only really had like one mod plus tires. I'll go through the mods I've installed. Performance mods first. So first performance mod I got for this car was the exhaust, and it wasn't really much for performance mod. In all honesty, I didn't really notice much performance difference with the exhaust. It was mostly just sound, which it does have a nice deep sound, which I do have a comparison video on the stock versus the exhaust. It's just an axleback, so I wasn't expecting much for performance like you'd get from a catback. But it's the corksport axleback exhaust. It's a little droney at some RPMs, but it's not bad. It's got a good deep tone to it. I've had a couple people ask me if I had a V6. Non-car people, admittedly, but still. Point stands that it sounds pretty good. Next mod I got was a strut tower bar. And I've heard people say that they think strut tower bars are a waste of money. In my opinion, huge difference. I don't think I ever did an official review on it on this channel, but I'll tell you, like, the front end hooks so much better pushing it hard into corners. I used to get a lot of understeer pretty fast, and even before I put the better tires on her, strut tower bar made a huge difference. It was perfect. So strut tower bar helped a lot with some fun in the corners. Next major mod I got, which is kind of a mod, kind of just maintenance, but I lost one of my stock all seasons to a really big pothole in the city around here. So instead of getting new all seasons, because mine were getting kind of worn anyway, I would have had to replace all 4 eventually. I got summer tires. The ones I have right now are, what the fuck are they called? Son of a biatch. Thinking. Oh, there we go. Bridgestone Potenza SO4 pole positions. They're not like a track tire, they're just a summer tire. Huge difference, night and day difference. That was the biggest upgrade I've gotten on this car, in all honesty, was the tires. People are not lying when they say tires make all the difference. This thing can corner so much better, can take off the line a lot better. Even in the rain, this thing used to have issues on the highway in moderate to heavy rain. Above like 70, 75 with the stock all season, so it'd start to get a little squirrely and hydroplane easily. These tires, no longer an issue. Even in pretty heavy rain, I can go way faster than I should, and not a hint of hydroplaning or any issues. So these tires, fucking amazing. Gonna have to get snow tires now because, as you guys probably know, I live in an area that gets a lot of snow. And coming along in the year, and that's gonna be happening soon, and these Potenzas aren't gonna do so good in the snow. So snow tires are next on my list of shit I need to buy. And then last mod I got is now the intake, and I'm gonna tell you that intake, I don't know if it's placebo, I don't think it is, but I feel like I gained a lot of top end actually with the intake. So mid-range feels about the same, low end feels about the same. In all honesty, maybe it lost a couple horses on the low end to mid-range, but the top end, she just feels like she screams now, like both auditorily, like she sounds fucking amazing. But not even just that, it used to feel like kind of trail off a little bit, not much, but right before red line, like you'd stop gaining power. Now she feels like she pulls harder and harder right until she hits red line. Again, might be all placebo, but it really does feel like I gained at least the advertised 5 horsepower at the top end, if not a little more, which maybe in combination with the axleback, it's more freer flowing. Maybe I did gain a little more than 5. Hard to say. Don't know if I really did, but it feels like it. Look here, we're gonna fucking gun it. Oh yeah. Love that sound too. I'll do it under the bridge shot in a second here. There's a bridge I'm about to go under. As you guys who watch a lot of my videos, which is not going to be many people at all, will know, because I tend to take this route a lot in my videos because it's my commute home from work. Most of my videos are either shot going to work or coming home from work. This is coming home from work. I don't know why I guess that works too, home, whatever. Blah. Being retarded. Point is, I do feel like I gained some top end, and the sound is amazing. It's hard for me to pick a favorite mod that I've done. This video wasn't even supposed to be about mods. I'm sorry, guys. It was supposed to be a 2-year review. But favorite mod, probably performance-wise, tires. Everything else-wise, exhaust. Just because I do like the overall sound the exhaust provided. And then, but they're all really close. Everything I've done, I've thought about pretty heavily before I've done, and I'm really happy with them all. So I'm gonna roll down the windows here, and the wind might be terrible, so you might not hear it much. It's a nice hiss too. When I flip the throttle for downshifts, you hear a nice little like hiss sound. It almost sounds not quite like a blow-off valve, but a similar kind of sound. You probably can't hear it in that, especially with all the wind. There's no dead cat on the mics on that. I'm gonna wait till this clears out and then gun it under this bridge. Okay, now, of course, you have to go up in front of me. Ready? Yeah. Roll those windows back up. Not sure if you guys heard that. Sounded fucking perfect. But back to the review on the car. So like I said, I got into the whole, this is fucked, it's never this much traffic here. Got into the whole mods discussion because like I said, it makes this car feel like I have a new car almost every time I install something. And it keeps me happy with it, you know? It keeps me excited to keep driving her, because, you know, it's like I start to get bored with the current mods, install something, it's like a new car. you could probably say that about any car, but this car in particular, it just seems like it fits where I am in my life perfectly. Which is where, oh yeah, I'm cut over here like a douche. Whereas I need a car that's relatively cheap, reliable, fuel efficient, good for commuting, and yet still fun to drive. And this car checks all of those boxes very well. And it honestly, it drives very well for being a more budget-oriented car. Handling is really sharp, especially with the tires and the strut tower bar, but even before that, the handling was pretty sharp. Performance is solid. The performance parts I did, the exhaust and the intake, didn't make a huge difference in that department, although, like I said, it does feel like it screams a bit more on the top end, especially with the intake. But even excluding the mods, I still love this car. I probably would have been very bored of it by now if I hadn't modded it, in all honesty. But that's me with pretty much any car. Even my WRX, before I got rid of it, I was getting kind of bored of. I wanted to mod it really badly. So I think it's more like I just like to mod my vehicles. I get kind of sick of them in their stock form pretty quick. Who is calling me? I don't know who this is, and I'm not going to answer my phone because I'm driving. Suck my dick. But yeah, I tend to get bored of vehicles pretty quickly, and modding them helps me to not get bored of them. So the other thing too is this car's transmission is one of the best I've used, in all honesty. This manual is so crisp. So I mean, I've only owned 3 manual cars and driven 5 or 6. But in all honesty, of all the ones I've driven, this one is my favorite. The only exception being, no, not really an exception. No, this is definitely my favorite. Very smooth throw. Clutch is very light. My first 6-speed as well. I've never owned a 6-speed until now. I've always owned 5 speeds. And yeah, I mean, would I buy this car again? Yes, I would. I definitely would, if it came down to it. If I needed, you know, if something happened to this car and I needed another car, I'd probably buy another one. Although, in all honesty, I would consider a brand new WRX over one of these if I could afford it. Because, like I've said in my previous video, I have nothing against WRXs. I just had bad luck with my used one. But I'd buy a new one in a heartbeat if I could afford it. The only other thing that I wish this car had was a little bit more storage room, like cargo space, but it's not even a mid-size sedan, it's a compact sedan, or a small sedan. I don't know what class of car this is. I think it's a compact. I'm not sure. I know it's not a mid-size, but it's not that small. But I'm sure the hatchback, actually I'm gonna go this way and take a video real quick. But the hatchback would help alleviate that, and in all honesty, if I could go back, I might have gotten the hatchback. A couple of the reasons I went with the sedan version, the main reason was they didn't have a hatchback version of the manual S model, you know, the 2.5 liter S model in a manual when I bought this one at the dealership I was buying it from. And the other thing is it had to be a 2015 model year. I bought this car at the end of 2015 and the 2016 models were out. And I got like $2,000 off because this was a 2015 model, which I don't give a shit. It's the same car, it's just a model year older. But they didn't update anything really from 2015 to 16, so I was fine with that. Even if they did, unless it was something major, I wouldn't have cared. But, so, nope, going now. So that was the main reason, is they just didn't have a hatchback manual 2.5 liter Mazda when I bought this. But the other thing too is The sedan version weighs, I think it was 50 pounds, it might have even been 100. I think it was only 50 pounds less than the hatchback. So this car is lighter, which in a car, a 4-cylinder that doesn't have a ton of power, you know, that makes a difference. So I like the fact that it's lighter, and also the drag coefficient was a little bit less, if I remember correctly, which again, as I've talked about in a previous video, makes more of a difference than people think. Because I can keep up with a lot of V6s in this thing pretty easily on the highway. I don't even mean like shitty V6s, I mean like Camaros and Mustangs and stuff like that. V6 Mustangs and Camaros. Past like 60 or 70, it's not much of a difference, and I think a lot of that's the weight and the aerodynamics, which help a ton with this car. Off the line, they'd smoke me, and I'm sure even like past a certain speed where my horsepower starts to fail me, they'll pull ahead of me. But oh yeah, we got a nice run through the twisties here, and then I'll stop and do my walk around video. Careful until I hit the actual twisties, because could be some cops hiding around here, and we're good. Oh, there's a fucking deer right there. Okay, that's a little sketchy. Dead deer too. Okay, well, we're gonna keep going. Still love this car. I'm going to pull over here and do a quick walk around. She's very dirty, so just a heads up there. She is not a clean bike. Or bike, wow. Car. I mean, nothing special. You guys have all seen Mazda3s, I'm sure, before. She's very dirty, like I said. I've not cleaned her in a while. Here's the exhaust. A little rusted because fucking central New York weather. Harley. Yellow fog lights I installed. Cosmetic mods. License plate relocator. Show you guys the intake real quick as well. So there's the intake, K&N Typhoon series. Wish I could rev it like you can with, you know, older cars. If they had a throttle I could pull on. This does not have one. But yep, got a heat shield. So, yep, that is my lovely Mazda 3. Still one of my favorite cars I've owned. Or probably my favorite car, actually. Oh, this is fucked. Why is there so much traffic right now? What is going on? Why is there so many people that are coming out of the fucking woodworks? I'm so confused right now. This is like the most cars I've ever seen come from that way at once. I'm not even exaggerating. And I go down that road a lot. That's like my go-to twisty road. Because it's the closest one to my apartment, townhouse, whatever. I literally live like 2 miles from here. But yeah, that's kind of my impromptu 2-year review of this car. I know it wasn't the most in-depth review. It was a lot of, you know, me just saying how much I like this car and going on about how I think it's perfect right now for me, and all the mods too. Really talked about the mods more than I planned on doing. Sorry about that. But yeah, highly recommend this car if you want something that's just fuel efficient and fun and, you know, still budget oriented. Especially the 2.5 liter version. I don't know, if I had the 2 liter version of this car, I don't think I'd be very happy with it, in all honesty. I've driven the 2 liter and it handles just as well, if not better than this one, because it's lighter. It's just the lack of power was very prominent to me. It really stood out as just lacking a lot of power compared to this one. So personally, I would not go with a 2-liter unless I had no choice. That's my review of my 2015 Mazda 3s. You know, I hope you guys liked it. And as always, have a bueno dia.